All right, everyone, welcome to our online studio, and welcome to Tip of the Day Tuesdays, where we share Ayurvedic wisdom to balance mind, body, and spirit. My name is Adrienne. I'm an Ayurveda Health Counselor, founder of Hoola Mama, co-founder of YogiAthlete.
And my name is Amir, former professional athlete, yoga teacher, and the founder of YogiAthlete.
So if you have not been to one of our online classes before, welcome. All of our classes are donation-based, so all of the donations that we receive go towards our event, Eat, Move, Meditate LA, where we share Ayurveda, yoga, meditation, and plant-based foods to communities that need it most, such as South LA, South Central LA. So if you are able to donate, we are accepting donations via Venmo at YogiAthlete. So, did you want to add anything to that?
No, let's dive in.
Alrighty. So today's topic for Tip of the Day Tuesdays is Ayurvedic kitchen staples that are essential to have on hand and at any times, but especially during this time, during this quarantine, this pandemic that we're in. So it's good to have some basic essentials in the kitchen that will help to balance your mind and your body. So we'll break it up into a few categories. So we'll talk about different spices you should have on hand, different oils, fresh produce to have on hand, nuts, seeds, rice, beans, grains, and even sweets to have on hand in your kitchen. So according to Ayurveda, a balanced diet consists of having foods that are balancing for your mind and body type, but also we want to incorporate the 6 tastes. So when I say 6 tastes, I don't necessarily mean like, oh, sweet needs to be sugary, chocolate, and candy. But when I say sweet, the foods that you eat will have a sweet post-digestive effect on the body. But that's something that we'll get into maybe in another episode. But today I just want to cover foods, basic, essential staples to have in your kitchen at all times, and especially during this time. So if you have your journal and pen, great. If not, no worries, it's optional. But just find a comfortable seat, grab your cup of tea, and just listen in as we talk about these awesome things to have in your kitchen. So let's talk about spices first. So these spices will be great for teas, they'll be great for sautéing in your dishes, good for herbal remedies to help boost immunity, great for all sorts of things. So the trinity of spices that I like to talk about, especially in creating teas, in our immunity boosting video, we talked about cumin, coriander, and fennel. So these 3 spices together are so balancing for all body types, vata, pitta, and kapha doshas. And when you steep the seeds in a big pot of water and throw in some fresh ginger, it's really great for balancing your digestive system and also boosting your immunity. So definitely, if you can't get access to those spices, you can find them in your local grocery store.
Indian food spices?
Yeah, Indian spots will have it. Some Asian markets that are close by will have these spices as well. So you want to get the whole seeds so that you can get the natural essential oils that come with the seeds when you boil and steep them. So cumin, coriander, and fennel. You can also saute them in a pan and add it to any of your favorite dishes, and it will add this nice aromatic flavor to the foods.
Don't we use it kind of mostly the majority for our foods?
Yeah, most of the time, like even if we're like yesterday, we made a spaghetti and we threw in those seeds before we started chopping up the onions, and it was really yummy. So cumin, coriander, and fennel. Some other basic essentials to have are black pepper, Himalayan salt, ginger, and turmeric. Those are really great to have. So I mentioned the ginger already. It's good to have both fresh and powdered ginger, the dry ginger. So Ginger is really great for so many things. It's anti-inflammatory, it helps to promote a healthy immune system, it helps to break up mucus in the body. Turmeric is also another anti-inflammatory, and it's great for healthy glowing skin. It's awesome to add to lots of things like cauliflower. If you want to roast turmeric cauliflower, that's awesome, you can do that. And a couple other spices I want to talk about are cardamom and cinnamon. So if you can get access to those, again, you can find cinnamon at your local grocery store. Cardamom might be one, you could probably find them at a health store, but you might want to find that at an Asian supermarket.
Or Indian sweetened spices.
Yeah, Indian sweetened spices will have them. Okay, so those are the spices to have on hand. Again, this list is just a simple list to have. There's a whole slew of Ayurvedic essentials that you can have on hand, but for the purpose of today's episode, we'll just talk about just these basic ones. So as far as the oils that you want to have on hand in your kitchen, I would recommend sunflower oil, sesame oil, or coconut oil. But again, you want to have oils based on your individual constitution or your individual body makeup. So if you're unsure of what body type you are, you can always ask, reach out. We can do a one-on-one Ayurveda health consultation and health session, but we also talk about the Ayurvedic doshas in one of our previous episodes as well. So again, sunflower, sesame, or coconut oil. And then ghee is another type of oil that I would recommend to have on hand. You can also find that type of oil, ghee, in a supermarket, but I love making my own ghee. It is a long and meditative process, but it's very loving, and for those of you who are plant-based and vegan, you might be opposed to consuming ghee, which we were essentially at first. But after learning how to make ghee and learning about the medicinal properties that ghee holds, and just knowing that you're cooking away all of the impurities, the casein, the milk solids, all of it until you're left with just the pure oil. So, were you going to say something?
No.
Okay. So it has a shelf life of forever, essentially. So the longer that you keep ghee on hand, the medicinal properties increase over time. So like a fine bottle of wine, it just has so many wonderful benefits, and it tastes so wonderful the longer you keep it on hand.
You can also use ghee physically too, right?
Yeah, so when we talk about Ayurvedic self-healing, ghee is a form of medicine that you can use in so many ways, internally and externally. But again, that's another topic we could talk about in another episode. So ghee and any type of oil that is great for your specific body type. So let's talk about some fresh produce to have on hand that's essential for any type of cooking. So sometimes it's difficult to incorporate the 6 tastes when cooking foods. So going back to the 6 tastes, let's just rewind. When you cook, you want to have foods that consist of sweet, sour, salty, bitter, pungent, and astringent. So those are all of the 6 tastes, and when you use all of them through different herbs and spices and foods, you create a full balanced meal that can be balancing for any body type and for all 3 doshas, vata, pitta, and kapha. So a lot of the times when we're cooking, we tend to cook with sweet a lot. So grains naturally have a sweet post-digestive effect. Milks have a sweet post-digestive effect, same with butter. So when we're cooking with these oils and butters and grains, like making pastas, for example, and then cooking that with a little bit of meat, for example, that is a pretty sweet-based meal. So oftentimes we don't know how to incorporate astringent or sometimes we don't put enough pungent or bitter foods in our meals or spices in our meals. So when in doubt, cilantro is a great fresh herb to have. So most of the times when you're cooking and you add a little bit of lime or lemon, cilantro, and Himalayan salt, that's easily a great way to start to incorporate the sour, the salty, a little bit of the astringent and bitter in the food. So fresh cilantro is great to have, fresh lemons, fresh limes, fresh garlic, fresh ginger. So both of those will have the pungent post-digestive effect or taste, and onions as well. So when you just chop up a little bit of onions, a little bit of ginger, a little bit of garlic, add that and saute it to any of your favorite dishes. Throw a little bit of fresh cilantro, Himalayan salt, a squeeze of lime. That can easily create a balanced meal. And then whatever fresh vegetables that you want to have on hand. So I like to stay with the seasons. So any fresh produce that you can typically find at a farmer's market during that specific season is going to be great. So automatically we have this tendency to adapt to our nature around us. So eating with the seasons is very balancing for your mind and your body. So think of purchasing produce that is grown for that season.
So what are some type of produce that people can look into?
Yeah, so right now, great question. Right now it is springtime. So some fresh produce that would be good to have on hand are leafy greens, mustard greens, bitter greens, leeks. So all of those types of foods will be great to have and are in season right now. So those foods are light, they're bitter, they're astringent, which is great for the kapha dosha and the kapha season that we're currently in right now, which is springtime. Great question. So some nuts and seeds to have on hand. Your favorite nuts that you, I like almonds, I like cashews, you can have walnuts on hand, hemp seeds, chia seeds. What's the other one that we have right now? I can't think of it right now. So hemp seeds, chia seeds, flax seeds, that was what I was going to say. Sesame seeds, that's always wonderful to add toasted sesame seeds on top of your favorite dish. And I also like to keep fresh coconut shreds on hand as well, or dried coconut shreds is good too. Rice and beans, so you want to have a variety of different rices and beans. So a lot of people are against white rice, but I love white rice. And
Specific type of rice though, like basmati?
Yeah, basmati is good, a jasmine rice is good, but there's this view that white rice is bad and white flours are bad and white sugars are bad. Some of that does have a truth to it if you have a poor digestive system leading to inflammation in the body that can happen when you do consume these foods. So I do want to add that a lot of people are really into brown rice right now, but brown rice is actually one of the harder grains to digest. So when you consume too much brown rice, you're just allowing that hard to digest heavy food sit in your digestive system, and when your body can't break it down properly, it creates blockages in the body, therefore leading to constipation and bloating and potentially gas. So all white rice is not bad. So just keep that in mind. I like basmati rice, I like jasmine rice, but we definitely do. It's good to have a variety. Variety is good because, again, at the end of the day, too much of anything is not good. Even the healthiest thing, too much of anything is not good. It's good to also have a variety of mung dals or any kind of dal. So or lentils. So red lentils, yellow lentils, green lentils, split yellow mung dal, whole mung dal, garbanzo beans, black-eyed peas, kidney beans. It's good to have a variety of different proteins to have on hand. And when you do decide to cook these beans and your rice, it's a good idea to soak them for a few hours, or I like white rice, or soak them overnight. So that will help to improve the digestibility of the beans, because naturally beans are really hard to digest. So if you soak them for at least 3 to 4 hours, or even better, if you soak them overnight, it's so much better. It's easier to cook, and it's also easier to consume and digest and absorb it in your body. So soak your beans. And grains. So in addition to having those rices on hand, it is also beneficial to have different flours on hand. So some of you are gluten-free, which is great. You can have some gluten-free flour on hand. I like to have all-purpose flour on hand to use it for a variety of different breads and pastries and all sorts of fun stuff.
She's been whipping it up with the bread right now.
I have. Yesterday I made a rosemary bread, which was fantastic. It didn't last for very long, but I invite you to get creative. We have so much time to get creative, so having different types of flours on hand along with these ingredients will turn you into an Ayurvedic chef. So all-purpose flour, and cornmeal is good to have too. Cornmeal is great for kapha season as well. I also made a cornbread the other day, and it's super easy. If anybody's interested, I can provide a
I am
recipe.
lucky to have a good cook. He is the chef in the house. I eat good over here. So.
Well, you can eat good too. And I know these are all hard, challenging, and unprecedented times that we're currently facing, but with simple ingredients to have in the kitchen, you too can be a phenomenal chef and have a phenomenal eating experience and have healthy digestive systems. So it all just depends on how you eat and how you cook and what types of foods you're giving your body.
Also, you should tell them about, I'm going to let it out right now, but you should tell them about your recipes that you're going to have a recipe book.
I am. Thanks for spilling the beans. Okay, cat's out of the bag. So I will be providing I'm in the process of creating a recipe book. So because of the state we live in now, I'm going to be providing an ebook. So if there are any recipes that you are interested in diving into, definitely throw it in the comments. If you're watching on IG Live, or if you're watching on YouTube, you can add it to the comments as well, or you can reach out to me. But it's almost done, but I'm also happy to add any recipes that you can think of that you really want to learn how to make, maybe in an Ayurvedic way and incorporating the 6 tastes. So reach out. But yes, that is coming soon, because I know a couple of you have been like, hey, can I have the recipe for this? So it's definitely coming, along with a slew of more recipes. So stay tuned. Get excited. And then sweets. So it's important to have healthy sweets on hand. So I don't mean candy, I don't mean cookies or chocolate, as Dr. Ladd would say, but I recommend having healthy sweets. So adding organic maple or raw honey or raw turbinado sugar, whatever sweet that you prefer to have on hand. I definitely recommend using a healthier alternative. So
Said, how about dates?
Dates, yes, I definitely recommend dates. So I was going to add to the dry sweets to have, or the dry foods to have on hand. So dates, dried figs, but dates are definitely wonderful as a sweetener substitute. So even if you don't want to use the sweeteners that I mentioned, if you add a few chopped dates to oatmeal and you cook it in oatmeal, it's a natural sweetener and it's so wonderful. And creating a variety of desserts with dates is amazing too, which you'll see in the recipe book. So yes, great question. Dates are wonderful. But that wraps up the basic essential things that I would recommend to have on hand. Again, there is a long list, which I will also add to the ebook that I'll be releasing, a long extended list of Ayurvedic staples to have on hand. So a longer list of herbs and spices and fresh produce to have, and grains and legumes and beans and rices to have on hand, in addition to kitchenware and utensils that you should have on hand that is also beneficial for Ayurvedic cooking or just general cooking.
I'm sorry, babe. I think somebody has some questions too.
Yeah.
Let me see. I think Karen said something.
Yes.
Karen, that was going to be my question. I still have the ghee I bought from the very first Eat, Move, Meditate. Oh, she bought your ghee from the very first Eat, Move, Meditate.
I love it.
I wasn't even caught. Nice.
Yeah, so
Surprise.
I have a whole, if you take a look at my most recent post, I kind of break down on Instagram, and also the khichdi recipe that I posted on my website, I kind of break down my opinion of ghee, and I love making it, and I fully believe in the medicinal healing properties that it has and has the potential to heal. So another fun fact about ghee is that it is one of the highest forms of butyric acid that you can find on the planet. So oftentimes we have weakened digestive systems and our bodies don't consume enough healthy oils for our microvilli in the stomach to successfully absorb and break down and take up the foods that we're eating. So we need butyric acid in the body, in the stomach, to be able to thrive, to break down the food. So when you consume a healthy amount of these oils or ghee, you are creating a healthy environment for the microvilli, the microbiome in your stomach to be able to break these foods down.
I have another question. It says, what oils are good for Vata Pitta types?
Great question. So for Vata, I would recommend a sesame oil. For Pitta, I would recommend sunflower oil or coconut oil. If you want to do a mixture of coconut oil and sesame oil, you can do that too.
It says, depending on our doshas, is there certain foods to stay away from?
Yes. So that again is a very it's a heavy question, because it would first be important to know or understand what your specific body type is. So if you want to take a look at our previous episode about the Ayurvedic doshas, I would definitely recommend diving into that. And then I think in an upcoming episode we can talk about types of foods for Vata, Pitta, and Kapha that will be balancing, and also ones to avoid that will be aggravating.
Karen said, so use ghee just as my regular oil when cooking anything?
I would say have a variety, Karen. So don't only use ghee for everything, especially during spring season. So ghee is considered kapha aggravating when taken in large amounts. So you want to be mindful of the amount that you're consuming of ghee. So because it has such a large healing, like there's so many medicinal and healing properties to ghee, you only need a small amount of it. You don't need a plethora, like you don't need to slather it on everything, but consume it in small amounts. And I would say have a variety in your cooking. So don't only stick to this oil that you choose today. Have a variety, because some days and some seasons, different doshas will become higher. So right now the Kapha dosha is higher naturally in all of us. So ghee is a Kapha increasing type of oil. So like increases like, and we don't want to do too many things that will aggravate Kapha. But in the summertime, naturally our Pitta dosha will become higher, so we want to use a cooling oil to balance it out, which would be the coconut or the sunflower oil. So having a variety is great because constantly our bodies are shifting, our doshas are going up and down depending on our lifestyles and our environment, so be aware of that. Ghee will also loosen up tight hamstrings. Yes! You can rub ghee on your body and use it as abhyanga if you like. So abhyanga is an Ayurvedic massage to help to calm the nervous system, loosen up the muscles, and create an overall balanced mind-body state. Okay, so I think that wraps it up. Thank you all so much for listening and for tuning in to Tip of the Day Tuesdays on our online studio. Again, our classes are donation-based, so even if you just donate $5, the donations go towards supporting our events, Eat, Move, Meditate LA, which provides healing to communities that need it most. So thank you all so much. We love you all. Stay safe and stay healthy. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out.
You can also screenshot this video just to share on your platform. And thank you guys for always tuning in and tapping in with us.
Yes, share this with your friends and family, and we'll see you tomorrow, Wisdom Wednesdays at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for a guided meditation and breathwork class with me and Amir.